हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल। तो आज की वीडियो में हम देखने वाले हैं इकोनॉमिक्स का टेस्ट सीरीज़, जिसमें आज हम देखेंगे set-3। तो शुरू करते हैं हमारा आज का टेस्ट सीरीज़। और आप भी मेरे साथ अटेंड कीजिए, और अगर आपका आंसर आता है तो मुझे कमेंट्स में बताइए। सो हमारा फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन है, व्हाट डज द करंट अकाउंट डेफिसिट इम्प्लाई फॉर एन इकोनॉमी? द कैपिटल अकाउंट इज नेगेटिव. The capital account is in surplus. Imports of goods and services exceed exports of goods and services. Unilateral transfers are positive. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी, imports of goods and services exceed exports of goods and services. Consider the following statements. The balance of payments record the transactions in goods and services only. The balance of payments takes into consideration the transaction between the citizens of the country and the rest of the world. Choose the correct code. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी, none of the above. The current account is one half of the balance of payments. It records which of the following transactions: transaction in goods, transaction in services, net factor income, foreign aid, cross-border investments in financial instruments. Choose the correct code. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए, 1, 2, 3 and 4 ओनली. ट्रांजेक्शन इन गुड्स, ट्रांजेक्शन इन सर्विसेज, नेट फैक्टर इनकम एंड फॉरेन एड. As per the new accounting standards specified by the International Monetary Fund, the balance of payments constitute which of the following? Current account, capital account, financial account. Choose the correct code. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी, ऑल ऑफ द अबव. करंट अकाउंट, कैपिटल अकाउंट एंड फाइनेंशियल अकाउंट. Consider the following statements. Big changes in the capital account can indicate of how attractive a country is to foreign investors and can have a big impact on exchange rates. Capital account surpluses of a country necessarily indicate the increasing foreign ownership of the assets. Choose the correct code. This answer is option C, both 1 and 2. Big changes in the capital account can indicate of how attractive a country is to foreign investors and can have a big impact on exchange rates, and capital account surpluses of a country necessarily indicate the increasing foreign ownership of its assets. Consider the following statements. Balance of trade is the difference between the value of exports and value of imports of goods and services of a country in a given period of time. A surplus current account means that the nation is a lender to other countries. A deficit current account means that the nation is a borrower from other countries. Choose the correct code. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी, ऑल ऑफ द अबव. Balance of trade is the difference between the value of exports and value of imports of goods and services of a country in a given period of time. A surplus current account means that the nation is a lender to other countries, and a deficit current account means that the nation is a borrower from other countries. Net invisibles is the difference between the value of exports and value of imports of invisibles of a country in a given period of time. In this factor, what does the non-factor income constitutes of? International earning on labor, international earning on capital, shipping, banking, tourism. Choose the correct code. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी, 3, 4 and 5 ओनली. शिपिंग, बैंकिंग एंड टूरिज्म. Consider the following statements. Current account deficit in India has consistently reduced in the last 5 years. As per the report of April-June 2018, gold imports accounted for more than half of our CAD. Choose the correct code. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन बी, 2 ओनली. As per the report for April-June 2018, gold imports accounted for more than half of our CAD. Capital account records all international transactions of assets. Which of the following are included in capital account? Foreign direct investments, foreign institutional investments, external commercial borrowings, multilateral loans, net factor income. Choose the correct code. This answer option C 1, 2, 3 and 4 only. Foreign direct investments, foreign institutional investments, external commercial borrowings and multilateral loans. Consider the following statements. The special drawing right is neither a currency nor a claim on the IMF. The SDR serves as the unit of account of the IMF only. Since SDR is not a currency, it cannot be exchanged for any other currencies. Choose the correct code. This answer option C 1 only. The special drawing right is neither a currency nor a claim on the IMF. The value of the SDR is based on a basket of 5 currencies. Which of the following currencies are parts of it? US dollar, Euro, Japanese yen, Chinese renminbi, British pound sterling, Swiss franc. Choose the correct code. This answer option A 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 only. US dollar, Euro, Japanese yen, Chinese renminbi, British pound sterling. Consider the following statements. Autonomous international economic transactions are below the line items which are carried to bridge the gap of balance of payments. Accommodating international economic transactions are above the line items which are carried independent of the balance of payments. Choose the correct code. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी none of the above. Which of the following are the reports published by International Monetary Fund? World Economic Outlook, Fiscal Monitor, Global Financial Stability Report, Global Financial System Report. Choose the correct code. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए 1, 2 and 3 only. World Economic Outlook, Fiscal Monitor and Global Financial Stability Report. In the context of India, what does the depreciation of rupee mean? Increase in exchange rate where the price of foreign currency dollar in terms of domestic currency rupees has increased. Increase in exchange rate where the price of Indian currency dollar in terms of foreign currency rupees has increased. Decrease in exchange rate where the price of Indian currency dollar in terms of foreign currency rupees has increased. Decrease in exchange rate where the price of foreign currency dollar in terms of domestic currency rupees has decreased. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए increase in exchange rate where the price of foreign currency dollar in terms of domestic currencies rupees has increased. Consider the following statements. The flexible exchange rate system compels the government to maintain large stocks of foreign exchange reserves as they have to regulate exchange rates. The fixed exchange rate system gives the government more maneuverability since they do not have to intervene to maintain exchange rates which are automatically taken care of by the market. Choose the correct code. This answer is option D, none of the above. Consider the following statements. The Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries is a permanent United Nations organization created at the Baghdad Conference in 1960. The present headquarters of OPEC is in Geneva, Switzerland. Recently, India became the associate member of OPEC. Choose the correct code. This answer is option D, none of the above. The area under the Special Economic Zone has been declared as foreign territory for the purpose of duties and taxes. Which of the following explains the correct reason for the same? Goods brought from the SEZ to the domestic tariff area are to be treated as imported goods. SEZ goods are free of excise duty. Goods and services going into the SEZ area from DTA shall be treated as exports. Choose the correct code. This answer option B 1 and 3 only. Goods brought from the SEZ to the domestic tariff area are to be treated as imported goods, and goods and services going into the SEZ area from DTS shall be treated as exports. Consider the following statements. World Development Information Day is celebrated annually on October 24, coinciding with United Nations Day. It was initiated by the UN Conference on Trade and Development for information dissemination and for the mobilization of public opinion relative to trade and development problems. Choose the correct code. This answer option C, both 1 and 2. World Development Information Day is celebrated annually on October 24, coinciding with United Nations Day, and it was initiated by the UN Conference on Trade and Development for information dissemination and for mobilization of public opinion relative to trade and development problems. Which among the following organization publishes travel and tourism competitiveness report? World Economic Forum, UNESCO, UNDP, United Nations, World Tourism Organization. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए, वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमिक फोरम. Consider the following statements. Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation has recently released a report on composite water management index, keeping in view the criticality of water for life. The reporting states were divided into 3 special groups for the purpose of analysis of report. Gujarat has been ranked as number 1 in the reference year 2016-17. Choose the correct code. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी 3 only. Gujarat has been ranked as number 1 in the reference year 2016-17. Consider the following statements. Terms of trade represent the ratio between a country's balance of trade to balance of payments. When a country's TOT is less than 100%, the country is accumulating more capital from exports than it is spending on imports. Choose the correct code. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी, none of the above. Consider the following statements about Public Credit Registry. It is an information repository that collates all loan information of individual and corporate borrowers. It has been initiated by the Reserve Bank of India. It is based on the recommendations of YM Devstali Committee. Choose the correct code. This answer is option D, all of the above. It is an information repository that collates all loan information of individuals and corporate borrowers. It has been initiated by the Reserve Bank of India, and it is based on the recommendations of YM Devstali Committee. Consider the following statements about Shanghai Cooperation Organization. It is a military and security alliance led by China. Recently, India and Pakistan joined SCO as observer states. The 7th meeting of education ministers of member states of Shanghai Cooperation Organization was held in Astana, capital city of Kazakhstan. Choose the correct code. This answer is D, 3 only. The 7th meeting of education ministers of member states of Shanghai Cooperation Organization was held in Astana, capital city of Kazakhstan. Consider the following statements about the International Atomic Energy Agency. It is the nuclear watchdog of the United Nations which promotes the peaceful use of atomic energy. It is headquartered at Vienna, Austria. The agency was set up as the world's Atoms for Peace organization within the United Nations family. Choose the correct code. So इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी, all of the above. It is the nuclear watchdog of the United Nations which promotes the peaceful use of atomic energy. It is headquartered at Vienna, Austria, and the agency was set up as the world's Atom for Peace organization within the United Nations family. Consider the following statements. The 2018 UNWTO Global Summit on Urban Tourism was held in Seoul, capital of South Korea. The theme of the summit was a 2030 vision for urban tourism. Choose the correct code. This answer option C, both 1 and 2. The 2018 UNWTO Global Summit on Urban Tourism was held in Seoul, capital of South Korea, and the theme of the summit was a 2030 vision for urban tourism. Which of the following terms are correctly matched? Fixed exchange rate, when exchange rate is determined by the government. Floating exchange rate, when exchange rate is determined by demand and supply. Managed exchange rate, when rate depends on demand and supply to some extent and also controlled by the government. Select the code from following. This answer option D, all of the above. Fixed exchange rate, when exchange rate is determined by the government. Floating exchange rate, when exchange rate is determined by demand and supply, and managed exchange rate, when rate depends on demand and supply to some extent and also controlled by the government. Which of the following statements correctly explains the term import substitution? It refers to substituting domestic goods by imported goods. It refers to replacing imported items by domestic production. It refers to equalizing imports with exports. It refers to increasing import duty to check the amount of imports. This answer is option B. It refers to replacing imported items by domestic production. Domestic markets can be protected from imports through two mechanisms, tariff and quota. Which of the following meanings are correctly matched? Tariff, it is a tax on imported goods which makes imported goods more expensive and discourages their use. Quota, it specifies the quantity of the goods that can be imported in an economy. Select the code from following. This answer is option C, both 1 and 2. Tariff, it is a tax on imported goods which makes imported goods more expensive and discourages their use, and quota, it specifies the quantity of the goods that can be imported in an economy. Which of the following statements correctly explains a closed economy? The money supply is fully controlled. Deficit financing takes place. Only exports are allowed. Neither exports nor imports takes place. This answer is option D. Neither exports nor imports takes place. With which of the following trading partners does India have highest trade surplus? USA, UAE, China, Saudi Arabia. This answer is option A, USA. India's sovereign debt is rated by sovereign credit rating agency Moody's Investor Services. The rating agency is based in Japan, China, USA, UK. This answer is option C, USA. Consider the following statements. Credit rating is an assessment of the probability of default on payment of interest and principal on a debt instrument. In India, credit rating agencies are being regulated by CRISIL. Which of the above statements are correct? This answer is option A, 1 only. Credit rating is an assessment of the probability of default on payment of interest and principal on a debt instrument. Which of the statements are correct regarding dumping? It is a kind of predatory pricing generally used in terms of international trade. It occurs when manufacturers export their items at much higher price than the domestic market to earn high profits. Select the code from following. This answer is option A, 1 only. It is a kind of predatory pricing generally used in terms of international trade. Simultaneous buying and selling of securities, currencies, or commodities in different markets is in order to take advantage of price difference for the same asset is called brokerage, arbitrage, mortgage, hypothecation. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन बी arbitrage. Bilateral trade and investment agreement are the negotiations held between India and European Union, Japan, UPSC, Southeast Asian countries. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए यूरोपियन यूनियन. India has recently ratified UNTIR Transport's Internox Road Test Convention. Most of the following statements are correct regarding UNTIR. The conventions were adopted under the auspices of the United Nations Economic Convention for Europe. It facilitates the seamless movement of goods within and amongst the parties of the convention. TIR system covers customs transit by multiple modes of transport as long as at least one part of total transport is made by road. Select the code from the following. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी ऑल ऑफ द अबव 1, 2 and 3. Trade facilitation agreement on services has been proposed in WTO on the lines of TFA for goods. Which of the following countries has proposed TFS at WTO? China, India, Philippines, South Korea. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन बी इंडिया. India is developing Chabahar port in association with Iran. Which of the following statements are correct regarding Chabahar port? It lies outside the Persian Gulf and is easily accessible. It will help in enormously increasing the trade with African countries. India will not have to depend on Pakistan for access to Afghanistan and Central Asia. Select the code from following. This answer option C 1 and 3. It lies outside the Persian Gulf and is easily accessible, and India will not have to depend on Pakistan for access to Afghanistan and Central Asia. Which of the following statements are correct regarding basic countries? They act as a bloc in the negotiations under the auspices of UNFCCC. These countries have substantial greenhouse gas emission but lower per capita gas emission. Select the code from following. This answer option C both 1 and 2. They act as a bloc in negotiations under the auspices of UNFCCC, and these countries have substantial greenhouse gas emissions but low per capita gas emission. Consider the following statements. New Development Bank was created by SCO by Fortaleza Declaration. The headquarters of New Development Bank is in Moscow, Russia. Which of the above statements are not correct? तो इसमें नॉट करेक्ट पूछा है, तो इसका आंसर होगा ऑप्शन सी बोथ 1 and 2. मतलब दोनों स्टेटमेंट्स गलत हैं. Which of the following organizations are currently matched with their headquarters? Organization headquarters: Asian Development Bank, Tokyo; Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation, Singapore; of Southeast Asia Asian Nations, Bangkok; Association of Southeast Asian Nations, Bangkok. Select the code from the following. This answer is option B 2 only. Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation, Singapore. Which of the following statements are correct regarding regional comprehensive economic partnership? It is a proposed free trade agreement between the members of ASEAN and some associate countries. The member nations of RCEP consist of almost half of the world's population and accounts for 30% of world's GDP. Select the code from following. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी बोथ 1 and 2. It is a proposed free trade agreement between the members of ASEAN and some associate countries, and the member nations of RCEP consist of almost half of the world's population and accounts for 30% of world's GDP. Which amongst the following is not a founder member of Shanghai Cooperation Organization? Russia, Kazakhstan, Afghanistan. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी अफगानिस्तान. World Sustainable Development Summit is being hosted by TERI, ISRO, UNEP, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए तेरी. WEF has decided to establish its fourth Center for Industrial Revolution 4.0 in India. In which of the following states is it being developed? गुजरात, तेलंगाना, महाराष्ट्र, तमिलनाडु. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी महाराष्ट्र. Which one of the following indicators is not used by World Bank in calculating its human capital index introduced first time in World Development Report? Survival to age 5 years, expected years of schooling, adult survival rate, per capita income. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी per capita income. Future of Work in India report has been published by WEF, IMF, World Bank, ADB. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए WEF. Which of the following organizations has launched Reinvigorating Trade and Inclusive Growth Report? IMF, World Bank, WTO. Select the code from following. This answer option D all of the above. IMF, World Bank and WTO. Which of the following statements are correct regarding global reinvest? It is an investors meet and expo organized to showcase India's ease of doing business and promote investment in India. It has been hosted by Ministry of Commerce. Select the code from following. This answer is option D neither 1 nor 2. Which of the following organizations publishes Industrial Development Report? United Nations Industrial Development Organization, International Labour Organization, World Economic Forum, none of the above. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए यूनाइटेड नेशंस इंडस्ट्रियल डेवलपमेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. Consider the following statements with respect to enemy property in India. It refers to any property that was belonging to a person who migrated from India to an enemy country when a war broke out. Enforcement Directorate is the custodian of enemy properties in India. Select the correct statement. This answer is option A, one only. It refers to any property that was belonging to a person who migrated from India to an enemy country when a war broke out. SS2 Seeds Index is published by World Benchmarking Alliance, Subalbird Global Seed Vault, Food and Agriculture Organization, World Economic Forum. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए वर्ल्ड बेंचमार्किंग अलायंस. Consider the following statements with respect to World Trade Organization's principle of most favored nation. MFN status to a country by another country ensures preferential treatment, lower tariffs, and removal of other trade barriers between the two member countries. The principle of MFN is included in GATS, GATT, and TRIPS. Select the correct code. This answer is option B, 2 only. The principle of MFN is included in GATS, CAT, and TRIPS. Which of the following are examples of over-the-top OTT services? Netflix, WhatsApp, Skype. Select the correct code. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी, ऑल ऑफ द अबव, नेटफ्लिक्स, व्हाट्सएप एंड स्काइपी. The term bhungro was recently in news. It refers to zero-budget natural farming, rainwater harvesting, cropping pattern, stubble burning. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन बी, रेनवाटर हार्वेस्टिंग. Consider the following statements with respect to Section 7 of the RBI Act. It empowers the center to issue directions to central bank in public interest. Till now, it was invoked in 1991 Indian economic crisis and 2008 global financial crisis. Select the correct statements. This answer is option A, one only. It empowers the center to issue direction to central bank in public interest. Consider the following statements with respect to Indian National Trust for Art and Cultural Heritage. It is registered under the Societies Registration Act 1860. It is under the aegis of Ministry of Culture. Select the correct code. This answer option A, one only. It is registered under the Societies Registration Act 1860. Consider the following statements with respect to Konark Sun Temple. It is the culmination of Kalinga temple architecture. It is a testimony to the 13th century Hindu kingdom of Odisha under the reign of Narasimha Deva I. Select the correct statements. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी, both 1 and 2. It is the culmination of Kalinga temple architecture and it is a testimony to the 13th century Hindu kingdom of Odisha under the reign of Narasimha Deva I. Mizoram shares its border with which of the following states? Meghalaya, Assam, Tripura, Nagaland, Manipur. Select the correct code. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी, 2, 3 and 5. Assam, Tripura and Manipur. Indian strategic petroleum reserves are located in Mumbai, Mangalore, Chennai. Select the correct code. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी, 2 only, Mangalore. Moscow format, which was recently in news, deals with Iran sanctions, Afghan crisis, Ukrainian crisis, Russo-Georgian war. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन बी, अफगान क्राइसिस. Consider the following statements with respect to K9 Vajra T. It is a self-propelled artillery gun with a maximum range of 40 km. It is jointly developed by India and Israel. Select the correct statements. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए, 1 only. It is a self-propelled artillery gun with a maximum range of 40 km. Consider the following statements with respect to M777 Hoittiger. It is based on the Swedish Bofors Hobbits FS-77. It will be assembled in India by Reliance Defence under an arrangement designed to support defence industrial cooperation and promote local economic growth. Select the correct statements. This answer है ऑप्शन डी, neither 1 nor 2. Consider the following statements with respect to Global Cooling Innovation Summit. It is organized as Global Climate Change Alliance. India and Brazil are partner countries to explore concrete means and pathways to address the climate threat that comes from the growing demand from room air conditioners. Select the correct statements. इसका आंसर ऑप्शन डी, neither 1 nor 2. Simpex is a bilateral exercise between India, Sri Lanka, Singapore, Seychelles, none of the above. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन बी, सिंगापुर. Consider the following statement with respect to GSAT-29. It is a high throughput communication satellite. It carries Ka or Ku band and Q or V band payload. It was launched on board a PSLV XL. Select the correct statements. This consider option A 1 and 2. It is a high throughput communication satellite and it carries cargo band and Q or V band payload. Consider the following statements with respect to GSLV Mk3. It has two solid strap-on, a cold liquid booster and a cryogenic upper stage. It is designed to carry 4-ton class of satellites into geosynchronous transfer orbit. The first development flight of GSLV Mk3 launched the set-29 satellite. Select the correct code. This answer is option A 1 and 2. It has two solid strap-on, a cold liquid booster and a cryogenic upper stage, and it is designed to carry 4-ton class of satellites into geosynchronous transfer orbit. The place called Villers Guiselin was in news recently. Where is it located? Sweden, Ireland, France, Norway. This answer is option C, France. Consider the following statements with respect to Intergovernmental Science Policy Platform on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services. It is administered by the United Nations Environment Programme. The IPBES Secretariat is based in Bonn, Germany. India is not a member of the IPBES. Select the correct statements. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए 1 and 2. It is administered by United Nations Environment Programme and the IPBES Secretariat is based in Bonn, Germany. Which of the following refers to a situation where labor that is employed in a job is not actually utilized for the production of goods and services? Structural unemployment, disguised unemployment, frictional unemployment, cyclical unemployment. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन बी डिस्गाइज्ड अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट. Repensi is a genre of Indian folk martial dance from which state? Punjab, Kerala, Maharashtra, none of the above. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी none of the above. The Rar region comprises of which of the following states? Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, West Bengal, Punjab. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी वेस्ट बंगाल. Consider the following statements about Brahmachari movement. It was initiated by Guru Sadev Dutt. It was a resistance movement by the riots against the Zamindars. Select the correct statement. This answer है option A 1 only. It was initiated by Guru Sadev Dutt. Dudhwa Tiger Reserve comprises Kisanpur Wildlife Sanctuary, Katrina Ghat Wildlife Sanctuary, Debrigarh Wildlife Sanctuary. Select the correct code. This answer है option C 1 and 2. Kisanpur Wildlife Sanctuary and Katrina Ghat Wildlife Sanctuary. Ease of Doing Agribusiness Index is released by Niti Aayog, Food and Agriculture Organization, World Economic Forum. None of the above. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी नन ऑफ द अबव. तो इसी के साथ हमारा आज का टेस्ट सीरीज़ कंप्लीट होता है. और अगर आप चैनल पर नए हैं तो चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर दीजिए और नोटिफिकेशन आइकन पर क्लिक कर दीजिए ताकि आपको सारी वीडियोस के अपडेट्स मिल सके. और अगर आपको वीडियो अच्छा लगे तो लाइक कर दीजिए और साथ ही अपने दोस्तों के साथ शेयर कीजिए ताकि उन्हें भी हेल्प हो सके. तो इसी के साथ हमारा आज का वीडियो कंप्लीट होता है. थैंक यू. थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग.